Okay. Having a little bit of issues with the stream. We're going to see if it's going to continue to work. Looks okay. Anyway, our coverage of the election will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Cenk Uygur will be there. Rashad Ritchie will be there. And hopefully it'll get called relatively fast. We can have a nice little celebration, call it a night. We'll see. Anyway, lots of news to talk about today. Oh, also, on the Daybridge Report, we have a first-time co-host from Gen Z for Change. Elise Joshi, who I had interviewed a few weeks back, is going to be joining me as a full-on co-host. How exciting is that? Before jumping into the news, though, let's get to some numbers, including continuing good news when it comes to the price of gas. Down slightly more than 2 cents from yesterday. No, but like seriously. Okay. We were at $3.38 nationally. That is less than 3 cents more than it was a year ago. We're not talking about just getting to where we're at. We might go lower. Could we eventually drop below $3? Again, we need to get everybody off of gas, but as of right now, people are suffering a lot, and so we want to see that number lower, at least for a bit. Okay, COVID numbers, not as positive. Over 50,000 cases, hospitalizations, people in ICU continuing to go up. The death number is still good, but, we're not particularly surprised by that. Okay, let's jump into some other news. I was going to briefly talk about Kanye West declaring that Elon Musk is half Chinese and then distracting us from engaging in the idea that he's half Chinese by also claiming that he's a clone and there's a bunch of them. And then he apologizes for using curse words, which is interesting because there's a lot to apologize in what he said, but he didn't actually use any curse words. So you're apologizing for the wrong thing while demonstrating that in theory you can apologize for stuff. Just only for stuff you didn't do. I don't know. And furthermore, I don't really care. Okay, really fast, fun video. So this is the leaders of House and Senate presenting medals to heroes of January 6th. I just notice, see if you notice what I noticed. I just thought this is funny. You notice that? You see what I'm saying? They know how to shake hands. They know how to shake hands because they're shaking one of their hands. They're just not shaking the other hands. And I love it. Like Kevin McCarthy doesn't seem to he doesn't expect that they're gonna be shaking his hand or whatever. But Mitch McConnell's like, nobody wants to shake my hand. Shade on McTurtle. Sam Lynn, member for 14 months. Cheers. Cheers back to you. Thank you for being here. Okay. Congressional Medal of Freedom. Sorry, Congressional Gold Medal, not the Medal of Freedom. I don't know if I said that earlier. It's the Gold Medal, not the Medal of Freedom. Okay, let's turn now from the funny news to the more serious news. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, passing a criminal code banning... Get out of here with your everything has to be banning sex outside of marriage. That is obviously incredibly extreme, even in the context of a world that has a number of fundamentalist governments of a variety of different types. That's pretty crazy. And obviously, look, base level, that's extreme. But of course, as with everything, it doesn't affect everyone equally. Some people will find that much easier to comply with. It's going to be a little bit harder for some groups that are also discriminated against in a variety of other fashions. So it's not like, well, as long as you just get married. Well, what if they don't let you get married? Now, so people are saying, how do you enforce this? I'm going to guess spottily, I would say, probably. It's the sort of law you pass so you can lock up the sort of outgroups that you want, And also, so that individually you can go after people and declare that this is the rationale for it, if that's what you want. Yeah, no, there's tons of people that literally like the day before were having sex. Is that going to be, like we're concerned about grandfathering as well? Like they can then go and take people that were doing things that were totally look. We're trying to get to Star Trek, people. We're trying to get to Star Trek. And instead, we just have dead weight. Okay, I need to get the taste out of my mouth of that bad story. So we're going to turn to a more positive story. The makers of the mozzarella sticks at TGI Fridays are being sued. Some of you might be familiar with this. If you're not, why do you think they would be being sued? The makers of TGI Fridays mozzarella sticks. It's a big business. It's food. There's been a lot of lawsuits of this type. I'll give you a second. Mike says, thank you for this daily news update. Looking forward to reading your stories on your Patreon. Oh, thank you so much, Mike. That's really nice of you. Well, I can say about less than a week ago, I released my holiday story. Involves a girl, a robot, trolls. It's a lot of fun. I actually just put up a behind-the-scenes video explaining where I came up with the idea and what it was like working on it. That's available at patreon.com/John Iadarola. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it. Have I not mentioned this? So in halfway through each month, we also release a podcast. It's not political, nothing ever political, although this one touches on it a little bit. And Francesca Fiorentini is joining me. It's just me and her breaking down Andor. A lot of stuff about what we liked about it in comparison to other Star Wars stuff, but mainly how anti-capitalist and anti-fascist Andor was. We had an awesome conversation, so that's going to be available at patreon.com/John Iadarola in about a week. Anyway, the mozzarella sticks, the maker is being sued because supposedly the sticks don't contain mozzarella, just cheddar. And I have to say, as an Italian, if it was up to me, I'd give them a pass. I don't think anyone is really expecting actual cheese out of it, let alone a particular cheese. We'll see how they do. Anyway, I want to get to our main story, though. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. So, Donald Trump, as we know, over the weekend was saying that the Constitution, as well as all other rules, regulations, and laws, needs to be set aside. He received quite a bit of criticism from that, including from the damage report. Now he's saying, no, I didn't actually say that. He says, the fake news is actually trying to convince the American people that I said I wanted to terminate the Constitution. This is simply more disinformation and lies, just like Russia, like all their other hoaxes and scams. Now, here's the thing. It is one thing to claim that you are not calling for the end of the Constitution when the bleats where you do it are still up on your account, but it's worse than that because he goes on in that same bleat to continue to talk about how the election has been stolen and only fools would disagree with that and accept stolen elections. MAGA. And he goes on to say, simply put, this is all in all caps, by the way. Simply put, if an election is irrefutably fraudulent, it should go to the rightful winner or, at a minimum, be redone. Where open and blatant fraud is involved, there should be no time limit for change. Well, first of all, there's no change that's going to happen. And to the extent that this is regulated or that there were time limits, you need to take it up with the Constitution. So again, he is saying, I don't give a shit what any law says, what the Constitution says. I want to be president. Give me president. Give me president. That's what he wants. And again, like I said on the show yesterday, it is far more important what other Republicans say, and more importantly, do in response to this. And the answer so far has been effectively nothing, because he will. It's like, you know how they say, like, there are things that will swell to fill whatever container they're put in. His desire for power and lack of consequences will be like that. Put him in any position, any role, in any elected office or institution, he will swell to fill it up. The limits have to be placed by others. He will never self-impose limits. And so what are the Republicans going to do? And probably nothing. That's my actual concern. Okay, everybody, I would love to talk more about this, but there's something more important happening. Did you know that J.R. Jackson, with an awesome hat, is already live over on the watch list at twitch.tv/TYT, youtube.com/watchlistTYT. I'm going to be going live with Elise Joshi in just a little bit, but in the meantime, if you do want to read my story, A Girl and Her Dog, that's available at patreon.com/Schneiderola, and my podcast with Francesca, Diving into Andor, will be coming up in just about a week. So hope to see you there. Hope to see you on the Damage Report. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.